Number one, Senator Estrada, or former Senator Estrada, is charged with corruption. And the Constitution says, unless you are convicted by final judgment, you are presumed to be innocent. So the presumption is Estrada is innocent. Number two, he has been granted bail. And the reason for the court's grant of provisional liberty is anchored on the fact that the evidence of guilt is not strong. So, you cannot begrudge the president for endorsing a man who is presumed to be innocent under the law.
Sir, sabi kasi ni
Otherwise, you're prejudging him.
Pero sir, sabi po kasi ni Presidente na small whiff of corruption.
Yeah, small whiff. Pero hindi ba sinabi ko na noon, pag sinabi ni Presidente small whiff of corruption, inimbestigahan niya na yan. Kasi bago naman siya, before he fires people, meron nang dumarating sa kanya impormasyon at pinapa-imbestiga niya na kagad. Hindi naman lang yung sinabi, Mr. President, may kurap yan. He's fired. Hindi naman ganun, Presidente. You must remember he's a lawyer. He has been trained to evaluate evidence presented before him. Hindi ganun sa Presidente.
Okay na, Jonah. Okay na. Same topic. Sige. Nakapila si RJ. Si RJ muna pagkatapos si Nestor.
Sir, what specific qualifications does the president look at when it comes to endorsing officials or candidates?
Well, based on what I heard from him when he endorsed it, he said, this man is honest. So, honesty. This one is masipag. So, efficient in work.
Therefore, Mr. Estrada is honest.
The presumption he is because he's not been convicted. What if I ask you now? What if he would be acquitted? O edi wala tayong
Mr.
nag-prejudge sa kanya. Tinapon yung sinampal tayo sa mukha. Yung pala, hindi naman pala siya guilty.
Mr. Estrada is facing several corruption cases.
Yes, but the Constitution says every person charged with a crime is presumed innocent under the law.
And to the palace, that's not a whiff of corruption.
As I said, a whiff of corruption doesn't mean a reckless receipt of an allegation of corruption and a decision to fire the person subject of that information. The president, as a lawyer, investigates any allegation of corruption before he makes a move.
So in that case, are you defending Mr. Estrada?
I'm telling you what the Constitution says because your question assumes that he's already guilty. It's very unfair for everybody. We've been saying that in my practice of law, even before joining the government, you cannot be assuming and presuming and spreading the guilt of a person unless he has been finally convicted. And you will only appreciate this when you yourself is charged and people start saying that you're guilty. We have to respect the Constitution. We have to bow to the majesty of what the Constitution says. The presumption of innocence prevails, regardless of who you are, whether you're an ally or a friend. Otherwise, meron tayong chaos. May anarchy tayo pag hindi na tayo sumusunod.
All right, sir, I just need specific details on U.S. government commitment of over 300 million pesos.
RJ?
There is no specific detail yet, RJ, because ano pa lang yung general
Pero
commitment.
who communicated to the government that they are committing this amount?
I'm not sure either with the Secretary of Foreign Affairs or Secretary of National Defense.
Who from the U.S. government?
Hindi ko alam. Hindi ko pa alam yan.
But how did you get the information?
From Secretary of National Defense.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Doon muna tayo sa topic pagkatapos last two questions about doon sa issue. After that, other matters, Maricel. Nestor, Julie, and other matters kay Maricel.
Secretary, because we are talking here about whiff of corruption, the President has fired several government officials who has not been convicted and tried for the alleged corruption. How is Jinggoy Estrada different from these cases?
The difference is the President, to my mind, has not received any evidence of corruption vis-a-vis Mr. Estrada. First, he is not a member of the cabinet. He is a member of the legislature at the time. Second, he was not yet president at the time of the alleged commission of corruption.
Will this not affect the President's tough stance against corruption, knowing that former Senator Estrada is facing several cases in court?
No. The survey will tell you that the President has made many perceived to be unpopular decisions, and yet the survey remains very high. In other words, Filipino people trust this man. They're confident and believe in his judgment. And ultimately, it's the people who will decide anyway.
Thank you, Nestor. Last